Boise State, the team everybody wants to talk about, the odds-on favorite to win the conference, the odds-on favorite to make the college football playoff out of the conference. Jake, you're taking us through them.
Yeah, no pressure. Just basically covering the number one team in the group of five. So I guess I got this. Unfortunately, we'll not be probably going that short on this group because we just need to talk about them, and they're probably the most important team that we will be talking about in our group of five conference breakdowns. Where does it all start this year, though? I know the name is pretty popular, so it's not taking anybody by surprise. But what can Maddox Madsen do to elevate his game for the Broncos this year? I mean, he's looked at as a guy who might be like, I don't know if there's another guy in college football that's success of their own team could come down to one specific player more than Maddox Madsen. You lose Ashton Jeanty. How do you replace him? Well, here's the short answer. You don't, and you can't, but you do bring in a really, really good running back room that maybe as a whole can produce almost as many yards as Jeanty produced last year. I know that's a tough time to beat, but you got John Brez Dubar. You have freshman star Syer Gaines, who's getting kind of that, dare I say it, he's getting that Jeanty hype. I think a lot of people are super excited about Gaines. Oh, and then on top of that, why don't we just go in the portal? I mentioned this earlier. Let's pick up Malik Sherrod, who 2 years ago was, dare I say, like almost on par with Ashton Jeanty. Like Ashton Jeanty wasn't Ashton Jeanty 2 years ago, like with the hype and everything. Like people thought Malik Sherrod was one of those dudes in the Mountain West when he was at Fresno. And now he's probably your third go-to guy as you're in your running back room. So the running back room is loaded. I think this offense and this team has a ton of confidence. And I know Coach Danielson does as well, but it's going to come down to the quarterback, because I think the passing offense, it needs to take a step up this year. If anybody remembers Boise State this year, you know, they had a really good 2024 season, but they go back to the 3 picks against Penn State. They go back to the 17 for 45 against Oregon. If you want to be that group of 5 team who is the Cinderella that just wins that one playoff game to earn the respect throughout the entire country, it's got to come down to Madsen. Like I've only mentioned his name 10 times already, so no pressure there, man. There's a lot of uncertainty in the wide receiver room. You lose your top 3 receivers from 2024. You bring some different guys in. I think Latrell Caples is going to be good for them, but they did lose a couple of other guys. It's like, we'll kind of wait and see. But tight end Matt Latour is probably the best tight end in this league, maybe outside of the guy from Wyoming. He's going to have an all-conference season. He might be Madsen's go-to guy. I think Madsen thrives with like running backs catching out of the backfield and good tight ends just because of what we get at receiver. The defense, not Ashton Jeanty type, but Ahmad Hassanin was no slouch when you lost him. He first team all-conference guy, like absolute stud. I think he got picked in the 3rd or 4th round of the NFL draft. So you look at a guy like Jaden Virgin Morgan at defensive end, also another all-conference guy from last year. He comes back, and he could replace Hassanin and be that good. Marco Notarini is a linebacker that's going to be good for them. And then the secondary, we look at the secondary, this might be the best position group on the whole roster. You bring in a guy like Jaden Mickey from Notre Dame, and I'm not even sure if he's going to crack your 2 deep. Like that's how good this group is with Ty Benefield, with Zion Washington in the back end, and then a couple of other guys starting at corner that you get back as well. A couple of guys they picked up in the portal that are going to be good pieces, but this group retained a lot of its roster. Obviously, you have the big names that went to the draft and graduated, but this team was able to hold on to a lot of its roster, and the entire offensive line room comes back too. That's invaluable. That's unheard of in the group of 5, but Boise must either have the program set or just a little bit of cash in the G5 to keep these guys around. Lastly, you lose your 2 most important players last year. I already mentioned them enough, but you bring back so many guys, and this roster is still really, really good. There's a reason, guys, they're over under win total at 9.5. It's set it at minus 215. Like there's a ton of confidence that Vegas has in this group. I think it comes down to Maddox Madsen. And he got the experience from the playoff game last year, from that conference title run. You know, we've seen it before. It's not unheard of. He might just be a really good college quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback, but he can still take his game to another level at the collegiate level in the Mountain West. And we'll see. Look at their schedule. It's really fascinating. You have at USF that first week, my favorite game of the week, on a Thursday at 4:30 Midwest time, and then at Notre Dame.
Yep.
And you don't get Notre Dame like you had Oregon second game of the year. You get Notre Dame, was it 4 or 5 weeks down the road, and you already be plenty tested by then? That is a sneak peek to like a first round playoff game, and I'm so excited for that one.
Just a couple of weeks past of where Notre Dame lost to NIU last year, by the way. Mark that down. So we'll see what this Boise State team can do. Obviously, a lot of expected talent. Matt Madsen has a lot of pressure, as Jake mentioned, but they're plus 198 to make the college football playoff out of this conference for good reason. I mean, 9.5 as a G5 win total when you were already the representative last year and people know your brand. Yeah, you got a lot of high expectations to go back-to-back in this conference yet again. All right, JP, thoughts quickly on Boise State?
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, it's a team that isn't going to change its identity. They've had good running backs to the beginning of time. I don't think they're worried about finding another one. But I do get really happy when I'm thinking like how good the receiver and tight end room are for Madsen. And there's a transition. He's not just getting thrown into like being an absolute star. So
all right, that is Boise State.